There's a version of you that's unstoppable, that doesn't flinch, that doesn't fold, that doesn't ask permission. It lives on the other side of everything you're avoiding. And you don't reach it by accident, you reach it by standard. The standard now is power. The standard now is, I don't negotiate with weakness. I don't wait for motivation. I don't give energy to moves that don't match my mission. You want to feel better, move better. You want more clarity, create momentum. Stop thinking the answer is in another book, another coach, another moment. It's in how you move now, what you tolerate now, what you act on now. And when you build that level of self-trust, when you know you can count on you, even when life breaks, nothing can stop you. You stop looking for rescue and you start realizing you're the rescuer. You're the protector of your vision. You're the guardian of your standards. And when your mind leads, your feelings follow. You don't have to feel like a leader to act like one. You just act. You just show up. You just finish over and over until your brain learns this is who we are now. That's the shift. That's how you rewire your identity. Not through hype, through daily alignment, through quiet wins, through hard choices, through controlling the one thing you've always had power over, your response. The world doesn't owe you clarity. You create it by action. The world doesn't give you peace. You earn it by command. You want to rise? Then raise the standard. Stop letting emotions vote on decisions that belong to your mission. Stop justifying habits that betray your future. Stop letting temporary feelings write permanent outcomes. You have a mind. Use it, train it, arm it, lead with it. Because once your mind becomes stronger than your feelings, you become unstoppable. Not sometimes, not occasionally, always. And the world makes room for those who no longer need to be pushed. They push themselves. They own the moment. They get up and they don't stop. Every day you wake up, there's a war happening inside you. On one side is the weak voice, the voice of fear, laziness, insecurity, distraction, old trauma, past programming, generational limitations. It wants you soft. It wants you slow. It wants you uncertain, average, obedient to the same cycles that kept your parents stuck, your friends afraid, your life small. But on the other side is a whisper, quiet but relentless. That voice says, you were made for more. That voice doesn't yell, it leads. It pulls you toward discipline, courage, structure, silence, strength. It's the part of you that gets up when everything inside says stay down. It's the part of you that acts when your emotions scream for escape, and most people never let that part of them win, because it's not easy, because it's a fight, and it costs you everything you've used to survive, your excuses, your moves, your stories, your crutches. You can't be powerful and pitiful at the same time. You can't lead your life and follow your feelings. You've got to choose every day, every moment, because this isn't about motivation. This is about mastery, and mastery starts where comfort ends. You want peace? Train your mind. You want confidence? Build discipline. You want freedom? Get control over your emotional state. That means no more living like a slave to anxiety, procrastination, impulses. That means you show up on fire when the world expects you broken. You show up with focus when the noise around you begs for distraction. You show up with decisions when others drown in delay. That's the real flex. That's real power. Because when you master yourself, when your mind becomes stronger than your feelings, you don't just perform. You dominate. You build. You lead. You become someone no storm could shake, no loss can destroy, no failure can define. You stop living like life is happening to you, and you start shaping it with intention, with precision, with presence. That's how the top 1% live. Not reactive, commanding, grounded, dangerous, unshakable. And that's who you were born to be. But no one can hand you that. You must earn it. And that war inside you, it ends when you decide the weak voice never wins again. Your feelings are not facts. They're not truth. They're reactions, temporary, fleeting, fragile things that shift with your sleep, your hunger, your hormones, your fears. And yet most people hand over the steering wheel of their life to them. Think about that. Think about how often you've let a mood kill your momentum. How many mornings have you woken up tired and let that become the excuse that hijacked your entire day? How many goals have you delayed because fear wrapped its hands around your chest and whispered, "Not today"? How many opportunities have you watched pass by because you were too in your head, too emotional, too unsure? And you call that normal, but I call that surrender. You are not supposed to be a puppet on the strings of your emotions. You're supposed to be the master of them. And if you ever want to build a life that's unshakable, if you want to stop getting pushed around by circumstance, you must train your mind to lead, not follow, lead. Because your feelings are built for survival, not success. They're designed to protect, not to grow. They will always choose the familiar over the breakthrough. They will always lean into comfort, not courage. And if you let them lead, they will convince you to quit every time it gets uncomfortable. That's why average people stay average. That's why most people live the same year 50 times and call it a life, because they keep mistaking comfort for peace and emotion for truth. But if you want power, real power, you've got to step out of that cycle. You've got to override the default. You've got to wake up and say, I feel tired, but I move anyway. I feel scared, but I step forward anyway. I feel stuck, but I choose action anyway. That's where strength is built, not in what you feel, but in what you choose to do regardless of how you feel. That's mental power. That's emotional leadership. That's the first brick in building a version of you that doesn't get thrown off track by every storm. And it all starts with this truth: your feelings are liars and your mind must lead.